What the
Thank
shit?
Julie, thank you for the $2 saying, Harry, if you go to... Julie, thank you for the $2. Julie, thank you for the $2. Harry, if you go to the DNC, wear nice cufflinks. I don't own cufflinks, but I appreciate the suggestion. Richard, thank you for the $50. Can we get some W. Richards in the chat? I appreciate you. That's incredibly kind. 50. That's incredibly kind. In law, the No.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry, I'm cash apping Law of the Wild back.
Oh, gold. I just have literally two real quick. Richard Ford. Richard, if you're in the chat, I'm so sorry. This was over an hour ago. I was heated in debate. $50 on Cash App. A huge W Richard, giant W Richard if you're down there. And I also want to say from the bottom of my heart, I don't take that for granted. And I know Harry can advocate the same thing. We never take that for granted. It means so much and it goes such a long way. There's never any pressure. Richard, that level of support means the world, man. And Ren, thank you so much for $15 on Cash App. I think W for Ren as well. You are amazing. Ren, you're amazing. And my DMs are open. I want to make sure I'm following you. I appreciate you so much. Felicia, thank you for $3 on Venmo. The fact this guy doesn't understand tariffs are imports, which means Americans pay the tariff, is maddening. It literally will make your head spin, Felicia. I really appreciate the $3. Thanks for being here. Steph, 28 minutes ago, $5. PolitiFact is owned by Pointier Institute, a nonprofit journalism school, and nonpartisan. Also, Jeff is a class A a-hole. Steph, we love Steph. Steph, I really appreciate $5 on Venmo. That's right. I was looking it up. Thank you so much. We got to talk soon. I'm glad you're here. Sanford, keep up the great work. $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you so much. Eviscerating MAGA Republicans publicly one at a time. $5 on Venmo from Zachary. Zachary and Sanford, if you're down there, big W's in the chat. Really appreciate that. Carly, $2 on Venmo. Ask Harry about me reffing your one-on-one sports series. I can't wait. Harry, what the hell that mean, man?
What?
Carly said, ask Harry about me reffing your 1v1 sports series. I can't wait. You telling some girl that she's going to ref us playing one-on-one basketball, bro?
I haven't, but
Carly H, maybe?
My turn. Rachel, thank you for the... No, my turn. You're muted now. Rachel, thank you for the $5. Your patience is astounding. 2 minutes with a Trump supporter. I want to bash my head against the wall. Trust me, we feel the same. And then another $2 from Rachel, and another $3 from Rachel. I appreciate you. Gladys, thank you for the $25 because defending women's rights is so hot. You heard word on the street. That's what I heard. It's what I heard. Thank you, Gladys. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Zachary, thank you for the $5 saying eviscerating MAGA Republicans publicly one at a time. We try. Thank you, Zachary. I appreciate you. Blaze, thank you for the $4. Love your debates. Plus, you're kind of cute. Can't read that on a live, bro. Can't read that on a live.
Maybe it would tell. No, actually, no, I can't. Yo, Zachary sent me the same thing, though. Appreciate that a lot. W.
Blaze sent you the same thing?
No, Zachary.
Oh, gotcha. Petra, thank you for the $10 from the DNC. I appreciate you. And Rachel, for the another $5, PolitiFact is owned by the Pointier
Institute. Yeah, so that is correct. But I think they are owned by them, but they are funded by a New York Times subsidiary. So it gets a little complicated. But yes.
Oh, good. Sophie, thank you for the $1 saying I'm not into politics at all, but I find myself watching your debates whenever you're alive. I love your content. Can't wait to see you as the next president. Chris is not excited for that day. Ricky, thank you for the 1 cent, buddy.
He's gonna throw me in jail. He's just such a disgusting.
Chris is gonna be jailed so quickly and so well and so bigly. You wouldn't even believe it.
LeBron, all right, James, thank you for the $2. Can you be on Team USA basketball? Yeah, LeBron, he'd text me.
This guy,
my bad.
Bro, dude.
Guys, listen, I'm hopping out. I think Law of the Wild might be in the guest because I'm gonna hop off.
I'm also hopping off.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
I'm gonna go play NCAA now. I'll let you
talk to Chad real quick. Chad, again, I want to be clear. I love you all. I appreciate all the support. That guy, just unbelievable. Yeah, and Harry, I really appreciate you letting me up, guys. I will be live tomorrow. I'm sure Harry will as well. Appreciate everything. My DMs are open. Love you, Killer. Wait. Killer, I love you. There's a Discord link in my bio if you want to join.
Please don't put anybody through that awful terribleness that goes on over there.
Love you, love you.
Look, get the hell out of my life. Hi, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for coming to the live. Sorry you had to be subjected to Jeff for so long. Terrible time, I know. Hey, Venmo, Cash App. Wait, why am I don't even know. I'm not meant to be saying that right now. I'm signing off. I post on every single social media platform. I post on TikTok. I post on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Threads. All of those usernames are in my bio. If you want to go support on all the platforms, it'd mean a lot. Also, have a great day tomorrow, Saturday. Have a great weekend. I hope you enjoy. Do something fun. See your family, friend, loved ones.
I'm on a business trip at the moment, and my
He took out a full-page ad demanding the execution of
Good morning, my name. These two guys. Either one is great. They're both amazing.
and what I I'm not going.
I was
Yeah. And yeah, man, baby.
Fantastic, fantastic.
There's no way that a meat price could be cumulatively up 50% unless there's price gouging. That's what we're.
Elevate yourself to doing them.
Kind of try
It's only eat good.
to
I drop a.
has not been cooperating these past years.
Certain things, especially
That's
the
part. The
actual-
energy increase prices is part of the 9% increase in the energy. That's part of inflation, dude. That it's not on top of it. That's part of the inflation.
So you're saying greed is good?
Yeah.
He's saying all these corporations are just ethically just doing exactly the same profit margin. There's no corporate greed at all.
Oh.
They're just so good. They're just so wonderful.
Yeah.
the exact same profit margin. It needs to be a free market. And when you have a global pandemic and you don't know what the government's doing about it, and they might impose.
You can't have a free market when your profits outpace wages by hundreds of %.
And you can't have a free market when you got 4 corporations essentially locking down all food prices.
Yeah. There is no way to ensure a free market when the price of food, the price of goods have outpaced the increase in wages for the middle and lower class year after year after year for the past 50 years.
And I just want to state for the record that if they are not price gouging, then a price gouging bill won't affect them.
No, it'll actually ruin the free market, actually.
No, that's great. But again, you can't have a free market. You can't have a free market when you allow the only people to participate in the free market are those that are already in the upper 1% of the society. That's not a free market.
Let me ask real quick about the price gouging proposal that Kamala has proposed, and she didn't elaborate on any of this. So you guys know what she's talking about. What does that mean? What are the policies that she's going to put in place, and what does that mean towards business? Is it a percentage on profit? Is it a...
He's saying that the prices are still too high.
Yeah,
So she's going to prevent corporations from making them higher.
Well,
I guess what I'd like to say is, if we don't know what she's going to do, then you don't know what she's going to do, but you're still here saying it's not going to work.
Yeah, and you're saying this is going to ruin the whole free market when you have absolutely no idea what she's going to do.
There is no way she can tamper with this, and it won't be
bullshit.
a net negative. What
bullshit,
could
dude.
she do? We're not talking about monopoly antitrust laws here.
No.
We're talking about many companies. There are, tens of thousand grocery stores this could potentially affect. There are. You said it.
But again, you're talking about 4 major corporations
There's 4 companies. What are they?
Well, you got Kraft, you got Nestle, you got what are the other 2?
Tyson's.
You're just talking about the 4 biggest. There's many other players in this game.
Oh, but those 4 control so much. They control like 80% of the market, dude.
Yeah,
If you're in a grocery store, they
And-
control like 80%.
And they're the ones that feed all those grocery stores, and those grocery stores their margins, yes, are very small because those major corporations, they're price fixing, and they're keeping those prices high.
Yeah, didn't we just talk about how Tyson and isn't Kraft unprofitable this year too?
No, we just got through telling they just made $9 billion in profit.
Yeah, they had a 7% profit margin. I remember now. But
Okay.
yeah, we're that's it.
You make it sound that you talk about this whole usage of I forgot what the term was that you used, and you were saying that how that's disingenuous. You're also being just as disingenuous when you sit there and you marginalize it and say, "Oh, it's only 7%." It's still $9 billion. If they didn't make $1 billion in profit this year, can you imagine how much difference that would make in the pricing of the food that they sell? I mean, to the people that are actually out there purchasing this, and how much relief that would cause?
Isn't part of the
Can I point out the fact of the matter is you want these companies
Record profits, that's what it was.
You want them to be profitable because they are the ones who are on the stock market. People are investing in these companies. You're
talking about greed now.
No, these are people. I invest in Kraft. I have stocks in Kraft. Do you think I want to lose my ass on Kraft because
if they didn't make $1 billion in profit 1 year, you're not going to lose your ass on Kraft.
Yeah, the stock will drop if they.
Okay, so the stock drops, but guess what?
I'm not going to get a dividend if they don't have profits.
Okay, so let's say,
and also that is directly correlated to the if you don't have a profitable company, your workers are not going to get a pay increase, right?
What does this have to do with?
Again, though, here we go. Because we're going to talk about it again. The workers aren't getting a pay increase now, but the CEOs are year after year after year.
In fact, they're the first ones whenever they don't make that profit margin this 1 year, the workers are the first ones to get cut loose.
Yeah. So again, if you want to talk about a free market, there's no such thing in this society because the free market is only accessible to people that can afford to participate in it, which is not the middle and lower class.
Agreed.
Hey, Turd Ferguson, can I ask you a question? Do you think like something needs to be done, like at all, about this?
I think we need to go back towards cutting regulations and just letting
regulations.
That's probably partially why we have so many recalls now.
Let me ask you a question. How we had next to no regulations in the 1880s, 1890s, 1900s. How was working conditions for everyday Americans in those times compared to the CEOs running those companies?
All right, so the guy asked me a question, and I just get interrupted by an absolutely stupid, disingenuous question.
You said that you want less regulations, and I'm telling you, less regulations is, no unions. That is no paid overtime.
I want fewer
children. That is children working in coal mines.
I am not saying.
Turd Ferguson. To be fair, you weren't answering my question. I simply yes or no asked do you think something needs to be done about these incredible prices?
And you said less regulation.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I think we
do you think that the tariffs that Donald Trump is proposing, along with the tax breaks that he's proposing, because that's when asked about how he's going to decrease inflation and fight the inflation rates, he says he's going to impose a tariff on imported goods, and he's going to continue his tax breaks for the ultra wealthy. That's his words, not mine. So now maybe he didn't say ultra wealthy. Fine, maybe I'm editorializing there. But he's going to increase. He's going to continue his tax break. Do you think that's going to do anything but also increase inflation?
Yeah, so it's a good question. The idea of tariffs does not really apply to grocery costs, but in general, if you're talking about inflation, yeah, if you have tariffs, it could lead to inflationary things in certain markets. It depends on the market, and also it depends on the actual carrying out of these tariffs. He might be threatening tariffs and negotiating new trade deals where they actually.
I read something from Forbes that said it was, and Forbes is, by the way, like not some left wing trash heap of
I've heard of them, yeah.
communism.
I've heard of Forbes.
I've read something from Forbes from all these it's like 11 economists or something. It was an op-ed for sure.
16.
But take that. It was a 16 economists said it will what Trump is proposing will absolutely increase inflation. So to me, maybe Kamala Harris's proposal isn't quite detailed as much as I'd like. I'd like to dig in. I'm sure that we will over the coming weeks, especially when the DNC comes. But at least it seems like she's trying to do something that is, at the very least, not going to increase inflation like what he's proposing. I don't even think he understands what inflation is. I don't even think he's ever gone to a grocery store. He has someone else shop for him.
Can I make a real quick point about the inflation? Didn't she just propose that she wants to give new homeowners a $25,000 credit towards purchasing a new home?
She did, and we've been doing that in California for almost a decade, and it's been fantastic. We're the 4th largest economy in the world.
Yeah,
it's actually a really good program, and not every single
the highest deficit state.
And here's the thing about our system that's hers is absolutely probably going to be modeled after, or at least it's going to have similar stipulations. Not everybody gets that 30 in California. It's $30,000 for a down payment. Not everybody gets that. You have to qualify. You also have to make payments on time. You have to get mortgage insurance for the first 2 years.
Plus, you got to be a first-time home buyer, right?
And you have to be a first-time home buyer. It's only for first-time home buyers. You have to stay in the home for 5 years as your primary residence, so that keeps people from buying and turning it into an Airbnb. So there's all of these things that are going to limit who can have access, but it's going to help so many people, and we want people buying houses. That is going to be a boom. That's going to be a boom for our economy.
Isn't she also?
Can I ask real quick? Would you say it is wrong to grant access to that to illegal immigrants?
What?
If you're a first-time home buyer, are you qualified to get this?
No, they won't be qualified for that.
No, they won't be qualified.
They won't be qualified. Yes.
Are you sure?
They likely won't be qualified. Maybe I could understand how parents of DACA children could or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen.
Harris is.
That'd be a good question to ask her, I think.
And again,
Well, she's probably going to model it after California's.
Here's the thing. Let's say that they do. Okay, let's say that they do. What do we know happens when more money is given to the middle and lower class compared to when more money is given to the upper class? What do we statistically have seen time after time after time throughout history when the middle and lower class had more breathing room financially?
They're two different questions. You're talking about
what we've seen is that those people will reinvest that money back into the economy, whereas the top 1% or the top upper class of society, when they're given these huge tax breaks or these incentives or these stipends or whatever, they don't reinvest it into the economy. They reinvest it into themselves.
Yeah, stock buybacks.
Yeah, we absolutely want people, first-time home buyers. We want people buying homes. We want people paying to fix them up. We want people paying their mortgages. We want those interest rates. We absolutely, it's going to be a positive. It's like give someone $25,000 and watch it just come right back into the economy in all these fantastic and wonderful ways.
Also, isn't homelessness like a big thing right now? So yeah, that'll be a big thing.
Well, the problem right now is that there's such a squeeze on the market when it comes to first-time home buying, the family dwellings. They're being bought up by corporations. When you remove that aspect, then the rest of the rentals out there become higher in price because they become more and more scarce. And then again, there's been price fixing. There's been price fixing with the rentals through another corporation. That's a whole nother thing. But so again, it's that whole, market thing, that when there's a boom in the market, prices go down. When there's a bust in the market, prices go up. So that's exactly what's been happening because corporations, when people were being forced out of their homes, all these corporations came in and saw cheap real estate prices and started snatching up homes. And of course, then the market became scarce, prices started going up. And if people they're either going to rent or they're going to buy. And if you flood the market with a bunch of options to buy, all those rentals will have harder and harder chances of filling their ranks. So they're going to start dropping the prices and actually become competitive again.
Okay,
And
interesting.
the other thing that added to this and made it even worse, in fact, I just looked up the numbers earlier tonight. So in 2019, the average price of a home in America was $253,000. Also in 2019, Donald Trump signed an executive order getting rid of the 90-day wait period for corporations to buy homes that come onto the market.
That's also when COVID shut everything down too.
Exactly. And then just 2 years after signing that executive order, the average price of homes in America increased over $400,000 for the first time in American history.
When the market becomes scarce, then the prices start going up. And when you got deeper pockets buying these houses, then nobody else, they basically they're priced out of the market.
So, Pal and...
Just call me Pal. Just call me
Pal. You're a good pal. And I will credit you. I totally agree about the corporations like BlackRock buying out single family homes. There's absolutely be legislation against that. I totally agree.
And that's a policy that Harris is talking about also, is reinstating that waiting period and not allowing corporations to come in and snatch up new homes and letting the market basically flesh out and let the rest of us have a chance to go in.
Well, I haven't personally heard her say that, but I believe you. But I would agree with that. But in any case, the grant of $25,000 to any new home buyer is basically just going to raise the price.
But Turd, it's not any new home buyer. Hold on, it's not any new home buyer. It's not any new home buyer.
I said first time. I literally said first time.
No, but I'm certain. If it's anything like California, they can't make over a certain amount of money to qualify. Yeah. It's not going to be just anyone who buys a home. It's not going to be. It's not going to be the millionaire buying their first home. It's not going to be that way.
If you're making $250,000, you're not going to qualify for this. This is going to be the people that only make like $50,000 to less than $100,000 range.
Most people, right?
Well, most people like us, yes.
95% of people, right?
No, it's a much smaller margin than that. I mean, not by much, but still.
Maybe in California,
Okay, what you're looking at now, and visualize this if you can. You look at a pie. You've got X amount of people in this pie. Dude. You're going to slice out the real rich, and that's going to be a good 15-20%. It's going to be out of that. Then you're going to slice out the people that can't even qualify in the first place. It's still going to be a good chunk of the pie. It's not going to be 75% of the pie. It's only going to be more like about 30, maybe 40% of the pie.
Not even close. So hold on. Let me just explain this real quick. So first-time home buyers are usually about what age? They're something like 20 to...
But do they make the money? Do they make the minimum qualifications?
Let's say 20 to 40. Those people, what percentage of 20 to 40-year-olds make over $100,000? In the United States, not just California.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but
I also imagine it's going to range based on
95%.
I also imagine there's going to be a range based on.
But out of that 95%, none of them are going to make the minimum required.
What else are the requirements? What are the other requirements?
Well, you got to have enough just to make the payments.
Yeah, well, I hope so, but
Okay.
you're also talking about granting them an extra. That doesn't.
But just even if you
That
give them
doesn't even add to the argument. I could just budget it with my mortgage in any way I want. It doesn't mean I need a.
No. You're saying the
house.
25%, the 25,000 is just to get them in the door and get them in and get that thing done. But if they don't have enough money just to make that payment, then they still don't qualify, even with that big juicy $25,000 down payment.
Okay, but I could still buy. Let's just say I buy a house in Louisiana that is $100,000.
Okay.
I get a quarter of that granted from the government. So all I really have to pay without even putting a down payment in, essentially, is a $75,000 30-year fixed or adjustable loan. Who is not able to pay that? That's seriously like, what is a $75,000 loan? It's probably like $500 a month, if that.
If you can find a house that cheap in any area, I can guarantee you that these people are only going to be making about probably around the $30,000 around range.
That's exactly the problem with this type of law. Is it is discriminatory based on income and what you're doing.
Are you telling me that this law is going to discriminate against rich people? That's insane. That's so funny.
It does discriminate because it's socialist. It's saying if you make...
It discriminates against people who don't need it? That's amazing. That's so funny.
That was
It's not for people who don't need it. The main point I was making is that this is only going to increase the price of the selling price of houses.
How? She's adding more housing.
Because
for a reason.
You can say, hey, you got a $25,000 price, right? But if it's certain income people are going to apply to this, right? Certain amount of people are going to apply where they have, this is the type of house that will apply to. It's not going to be multi-million-dollar mansions who get this credit. So it's certainly going to apply to the middle or lower income housing. So once that is in place for like a little while, the market is going to adjust and say, hey, people can probably withstand a $20,000 increase in price. It's going to adjust.
So you're focusing on one factor here only, Turd, and that is that this 25,000. What Awkward brought up is that she's going to flood the market with more. If there is more out there, the prices are going to go down. It's just going to help incentivize people to actually go for houses as opposed to going for rentals. Now, on top of that, if you keep corporations from snatching up houses, then there will be more houses on the market. So, you know, if the price, just like basic economics when it comes to supply and demand, if there are basically more supply out there, it'll become a buyer's market, and then the prices will come down. That 25,000 is just to incentivize first-time home buyers that meet this certain range that can go in there and buy it. It's not going to raise the price of all these houses.
Don't you guys remember 2008? You seem like you're older.
I bought a house in that time frame. Yeah.
Yeah. You remember how when you incentivize people to buy houses they can't afford and all this stuff.
Well, what you had there, Third, before you get into this, is that you had a market run amok. You had basically a housing market that was a banking market that was just going around wheeling and dealing and playing hot potato with all these mortgages once they can bundle them up and basically sell them on the market. So they were basically giving them to anybody and everybody they could. That was a failure at that level. Wasn't the people, if someone comes up to you and says, hey, you can have this house right now for this amount of money, and they'll convince you that you can actually live there, yeah, you're going to take it. You're going to buy whatever it is they're selling. That people are not that smart. So, but when you have people that have regulations and say you can't sell to those people that can't make those payments, that can't make those mortgages the way that they should because they don't have the income, they can't prove all this stuff, then Yeah, that never would have happened. That whole housing market never would have fleshed out the way it did unless they relaxed those regulations.
The other thing that you can compare this to is Obama's plan. Wait, didn't Obama have
Hold on, Andrew had something.
Didn't Obama have a first-time home buying plan that was like universally praised and wildly successful to help first-time home buyers get in after that crash, to help them get into the market in a better and safer way? I think this is likely going to be something like that, where it will only help to get more and more people into the housing market. Like this, do you remember, Turd or Pal? Do you remember that? I don't remember what it was, but there was an incentive because I remember a friend of mine bought a house at that time.
I might be wrong, but I think it was just a first-time home buyer. Was it like a 5% down payment? Was that what it was? I don't think it was an incentive, like a monetary. It wasn't a credit or anything like that, I don't think. Because I would have bought a home in that period, and I certainly didn't get that.
No, I mean, I can go downstairs in my studio and get on the computer and look it up, but it was a positive is what I'm saying. It's a positive to get people first-time home buyers to buy homes. And it was then, and it will be again.
Yeah.
And he also bailed out all the banks who...
he also bailed out the car industry and everything else. There's a lot of things that needed to be bailed out at the time.
Terrible.
Why was that terrible?
It was an absolute disgrace.
In what way?
Why would you bail out the people selling? Why would you bail out banks who fucked up that bad?
Because if they collapsed, then more people would be damaged.
It would have been way worse, dude.
I agree with you that they fucked up and they should have been punished. Those are the guys that should have been punished out of everybody. But because the banks have fucked up so bad that if they had collapsed, we would have seen a collapse bigger than what happened back in the 20s.
Wouldn't it have been another Great Depression?
Why are they paying reparations towards that?
Well, what they did is they paid back all those loans and bailouts that they got. Every one of them paid them back with interest.
Paid what back with interest?
All those bailouts. All that money that was given to those corporations, every one of those banks, every one of those auto industries, they all paid those back. All the airlines paid those back with interest.
In fact, at the time, didn't Kamala Harris help get California like $9 billion from that?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I don't know. But I do know that Ford refused to take it. A few banks refused to take the bailouts when they found out that there were stipulations to this bailout. They couldn't use it to pay their bonuses. And they said, okay, well, at first they're crying, oh, we need bailouts. And when they turn around and said, well, you can get these bailouts, but you can't pass out bonuses this year. And they all said, oh, we can do without them. So, it was there. Not everybody took a bailout. But GM took a bailout, Chrysler took a bailout, you had a lot of the airlines took a bailout and everything, and you had almost every major bank out there went and took a bailout. So, but they all paid those bailouts back in time and with interest. And you can easily look that up. It wasn't a failure. It wasn't like that we were ass out on that. We actually got profit on that. We got interest back on that. Because that was one thing Obama was very steadfast, is that this was not a handout. Unlike the PPP loans that we gave out just recently, a few years back, that got waived and all these rich people got basically bailouts and didn't have to pay any of that back.
Yeah.
Go figure.
There were no stipulations with those also. Like, it was just rampant fraud. Like, there are multiple politicians, and by multiple I mean like a lot of politicians in Washington D.C. that got PPP loans.
Oh yeah, some got $250,000 to $1 million, and they didn't have to pay any of those back. So it depends on how it was set up. Unfortunately, at that time, everybody was panicking, and it wasn't done out smartly like the Obama administration did with theirs. They said, "Hey, we're going to do this bailout, but we're going to do it smartly," and that way they put out those bailouts, and they got them paid back on time and with interest.
Like, I also agree with you, Turd, about and what Alan Dart said, which is, no, the banks should have been punished. The punishment is not like bankruptcy. It is your board, the entire board, fired. All of them. If you take this money, they're all fired.
I think some heads should have rolled.
Absolutely. Like, I'm totally fine with that. That's totally fair. Some of these people should have went to prison. Like, let's be real.
I agree with that.
Madoff was, and I mean, Madoff, it was a Ponzi scheme. It wasn't even related to that. But, yeah, like, people should go to prison.
Unfortunately, the whole scheme, this whole combining mortgages into package deals that you can trade on the market and stuff, that's what muddied the water so much. You really couldn't like fine tune and point fingers at specific individuals. Yeah. So, because major corporations were doing this, and they were playing basically a game of hot potato with this until it finally, some banks finally got smart and said, these are bad assets. We cannot keep these, and they passed them on as fast as they could. And then once a lot of them passed it on and then refused to buy them back, then that's when it started to crash.
I think that like The Big Short, which, you know, say what you want about movies, you know, whatever, but
no, they had a good accurate call on that.
The Big Short was excellent. Also, by the way, if you haven't seen,
another one, Margin Call, I think was another one.
Yeah, so if you guys like The Big Short, we'll go watch Vice, because it's the same people. What is his name? Adam something. He also made that one, and it's
Adam McKay.
Adam McKay, that's it. Yeah. Excellent movie about Dick Cheney. But in any case, I want to say that in The Big Short, wasn't there at the very end, they mentioned that someone did go to prison? It was one guy.
Yeah, one guy.
He was like a middle management guy that just got fucked. He was.
Yeah, he got scapegoated big time.
Yeah.
I think Adam McKay also directed Anchorman and Talladega Nights. That was a big shift to switch over.
Really?
That makes sense.
I might have. I don't know.
I just a quick comment. I love Vice, and I also love Talladega Nights. I didn't know that. That's
Sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah, he did, because I worked for the composer who did Anchorman and Talladega Nights, and he had a falling out with Adam McKay around Talladega. I mean, you know, I guess you could look him up. I shouldn't have said any of this, but he was really bummed not to work on The Big Short because that switch over from comedy to, like, you know, Oscar-nominated movies would have been really great.
The Big Short was more of a conglomeration of how the whole market went, but I believe it was Margin Call that showed you when the realization actually took hold and things started going south. That's what I like between those two movies.
Nemo.
Yep.
That's an interesting background you have.
Yeah. You like it?
I do.
I remember reading that book a long time ago.
You missed my background earlier.
Oh no. Oh no. No. No, lazy boy is safe. No. Oh God.
Why do people keep going with this? Even liberal media has debunked this, like, couch thing. So
it's funny.
It's amazing.
It's truly just funny.
Yeah.
But would you guys be salty? And I know the answer because I do this all the time. You'd be salty if quote unquote, I'm doing the quote fingers right now, but misinformation was spread and even everyone acknowledges this totally incorrect and not true, right?
So, I do you want to finish that? Because I'm assuming you were about to say Kamala Harris, right?
No, I stopped myself from cursing.
Okay, so I mean, if you were gonna if Kamala Harris was in your mind just then, the right wing does, because what was the first thing that they started saying about Kamala Harris whenever she got the nod? That she slept her way to the top. That's the first thing, the very first thing. That, oh my God, she slept her way to the top.
Didn't they say something about her being on the Epstein list too?
Has Trump or JD Vance said those exact words?
No. And,
No?
And
Yes.
Trump
Yes.
has called. It said she was
tried.
a DEI hire.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, there's a point to be made with that.
Yeah, but
Both
Kamala
sides
Harris.
tend to throw dirt on each other.
Yeah,
There was
Kamala
a guy
Harris-
on Fox News that said, then called Harris the original Octua girl.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Who said that?
It's one of the Fox News hosts. They were having like a, it was like the 5 or something.
Okay.
Probably Jesse Waters, or
I'm about to say, yeah,
whatever.
according to Jesse Waters, if we vote for Kamala Harris, we're going to become females.
Trump also said in an interview that he didn't know she was black,
Yeah.
which was also absolutely
And that-
ridiculous.
And that she just decided to be one day for the election.
And to be fair, I think what you're referencing is Tim Walz in his acceptance speech of the VP pick. But he didn't say, J.D. Vance humped a couch. He said, if he gets up off the couch to come debate me. That's just a normal thing that somebody might say. I don't think he's spreading this.
It was an
He
innuendo.
alluded to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
He's like, and I think you know what I mean.
Yeah,
He
no,
said-
Tim
he
Walz,
said that
Tim Walz
out.
knew what he was doing. The point is, it was
It's
a
an
joke,
innuendo.
right? It's a joke. We all know it's a joke. But let's broaden this out. Let's not just do Kamala Harris. Let's look at the Clintons. What do we always hear about Hillary Clinton? And
Spread emails
yeah,
that were highly
emails,
classified.
but like ones
Well, that's
that
true.
well, no. Okay, so there you go. But let's use ones that are provably false, which is the Clinton body count, right? Like that's a fucking meme that you guys created of just like conspiracy bullshit, right? Let's add one more.
Did Trump or JD Vance allude to the Clinton body count?
No, but they did. I can tell you that that one of them alluded to this one that I'm about to drop on you. The birther conspiracy.
That's Obama.
Yeah.
Never
Barack
heard of that
Obama,
one.
Donald Trump's entire political career is built on that. And that is a bullshit meme. That's what it is.
Let's go another step further. How about Michelle Obama being a guy?
Oh, yeah.
Which one of those two said that?
No. We're just talking about in general. We're just talking about all these things that you guys have been going on and on about. Our politicians are not talking about that. They make jokes about it, but they're not really talking too much about it. All the rest of us are talking about it because we think it's hilarious. But, it's a funny thing.
Okay, well, if that's all you're saying,
the major difference. I think the major
hold on.
difference, Turd, is that we're saying it's quite obvious. Everyone seems to know that JD Vance doesn't actually hump couches. We all know that, but we're having fun with a joke. It's not the same way on the right when they're spreading misinformation. People actually truly believe it. I've never met anyone who really truly still believes. I remember when it first came out and it was like a fake quote from the book or something. Some people actually were like, "Is that true?" But by now, everybody knows it's not true.
This was like,
that's the major difference.
This was like, hold on. This was like 2 weeks ago that this came out, and people are still spreading it as if it was true. I was just on a live, and they were talking about this for like 20 minutes, and the host has a thing about it. And if you're saying it's a meme, okay, but is everyone on here, including host, I want to know, do you know that this is not true and it's bullshit,
I've
right?
already said that it's not.
So why do you do it? Is it just to be a troll?
Because it's funny.
It's a joke.
Dude,
Okay,
most
well,
memes are not real.
Here's the difference. If you're gonna say you're above certain things, like if you say that there's a